the Golden Dome overlooking the campus of the University of Notre Dame, where today it's an ACC matchup between the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And we welcome you inside Purcell Pavilion. We're perched high above the floor alongside Coach Mike Lightfoot. Connor Klingon here with you. And Coach, a significant day for Niele Ivey, her first ACC game, and it comes against her former WNBA head coach in Nell Fortner.
The basketball programs are just so indicted. It's just amazing when you think about these two teams, these two coaches coaching against each other that at one time were playing against each other.
Yeah, Niele Ivey began her WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, and you see the photo right there of Coach Fortner, and we had a chance to show that to her during our meeting before this game, and she was so excited to see that. In fact, she tweeted it out this morning.
Isn't that amazing? But there is a special bond between player and coach. But the thing that's really neat about that, there's no secrets also. You know each other's strengths, you know each other's weaknesses, so it is going to be a special game. But you know what? That relationship is on pause right now because there's a ball game to be played between the two.
And it should be a great one. This Georgia Tech program really on the rise. They're 1-0 in the ACC, coming off a nice win on Wednesday over Boston College.
You know, every successive coach, wherever she's been, and now she's at Georgia Tech, and you know that they're going to have an outstanding program. They're going to build a great program. So, again, it's going to be a great game. You know, I just wish we had more people here, but it's still going to be a fantastic game for those who are watching today.
Yeah, this Georgia Tech team last season 10-8 in the ACC. Notre Dame last year 8-10 in the conference. And the Irish playing their first game in the ACC in the 2020-21 season. And pretty notable for Notre Dame, Michaela Vaughn taking the tip.
Absolutely. That's huge for the Irish to have her back in the court, back with the presence that she gives to her team.
And she wins it back for Notre Dame. Dara Mabry will get things started for the Irish, the transfer from Virginia Tech. Notre Dame coming off a win last Sunday over IUPUI. Right away they go for Vaughn, and she's unable to score from in close.
Those are the things I think Notre Dame's going to look for. High-low looks, trying to get the ball inside, down on the block. They had a great look, just weren't able to finish.
Here's Lotamai Lautanen coming off a 27-point performance against Boston College. Now Sarah Bates for three, and she knocks it down.
Well, that didn't hardly even hit the net. That was just down the pipe. A great shot against Notre Dame's 2-3 zone.
Well, this Georgia Tech team came into this game shooting just 30% from beyond the arc, but they had a lot of success in that 18-point win on Wednesday over Boston College.
And those things kind of run in cycles, and right now if they're shooting well, they'll bring that with them onto the floor.
They go for Vaughn once again, a whistle and a foul on the floor. And Coach, as we take another look at this three, what are you seeing here?
Well, one of the things you're going to see here, the ball movement. The ball goes from one side of the court to the other, just swinging the passing, being able to get the ball inside out, then opening it up, giving a great look inside. And once she had that look inside here, outside, nothing but net.
And coming off of that inbounds, a double dribble on Destiny Walker, so it'll go right back to Georgia Tech.
You know, it's going to be very important for the Irish to establish themselves at the offensive end because you know Georgia Tech's going to put a lot of pressure on the basketball.
Here's Lorella Kubai facing a double team. Went for Adonas and a whistle and a foul.
And if you're Georgia Tech, this is the way you wanted the game to start. Try to get off to a great flow offensively, get the ball in positions where they're able to score, and they have great cuts here, great movement here. And with that, now they have a chance to get a three-point play.
Caitlin Gilbert checking in for Notre Dame for the first time. Aisha Wone Adonas at the line for the Yellow Jackets. Had her first start of the season in that game against Boston College, and she sinks the free throw. And Georgia Tech off to quite a start here, a 6-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets.
Full court pressure, 2-2-1 press, back up to the zone here.
Here's Westbelt to the outside for Gilbert.
So Georgia Tech has come out really mixing things up, and again, that's what they've known for, creating a lot of pressure, looking for turnovers and easy transition baskets.
Gilbert for Vaughn, she lays it off the glass and in.
Wow, that was an absolutely great pass and a great finish, and again, that left hand really comes in handy when you're playing against people that instinctively try to guard right-handed people. Notre Dame staying in their matchup zone.
Wone Adonas for Lautanen. Nice baseline jumper for Lorella Kubai, and Georgia Tech off to a hot start.
Absolutely. I just love the way they're moving the basketball against Notre Dame's zone.
Walker driving, kind of a wild shot, but she gets it to go.
I tell you what, she had to kind of be creative as she got into the lane, had to kind of adjust her shot, but still was able to get it high off the glass and knock it in. Using the backboard is so important as a basketball player, and that's something that a lot of people forget about.
Here's Bates. Can she hit another one? Yes!
A great skip pass. Again, the movement that Georgia Tech has come out here with, moving the basketball, getting the ball from one side to the other by rotating it quickly or skipping it across the floor, is allowing them to get great shots.
Here's Maddie Westbeld, the freshman, unable to score. Georgia Tech right now 4 for 4 from the field.
And as we talked to Coach before the game, you know, one thing that she shared, they really want to push the ball up the floor.
Here's McQueen, the freshman. Bates, a third time? No.
Well, she had another good look, though. A lot of great movement against Notre Dame.
Here's Gilbert all the way to the hoop, a whistle and a foul.
Yeah, I think when we talk to Notre Dame, they really want to get out in transition. They want to push the ball up the floor as quickly as they can. And, you know, here's a great example. Again, great movement, great turn, great shot. That was just perfect basketball. Skipping the ball right here. That's what, you know, coaches talk about so much, being able to get the ball, skip it, and get a good look across that zone defense.
First free throw no good from Gilbert. Abby Prohaska and Sam Brunel came onto the floor for Notre Dame the first time today. Also Nerea Hermosa checking in for Georgia Tech. 6'5" sophomore from Spain.
Well, now we're seeing the Notre Dame ladies come out in a 2-2-1. They'll probably fall back into their matchup zone. So each team's kind of mirroring each other so far, Connor, and what they're doing defensively.
Here's Lahtinen. Now Bates, corner three. Hits the side of the rim, tapped out of bounds, and it will go to Notre Dame.
What's happening early, Georgia Tech is overloading, meaning they're adding another person in the zone, which allows the Irish to have to rotate. And because of that, they're getting really good shots against this matchup zone of Notre Dame.
Here's Gilbert off the glass, a whistle, and she'll head to the line for two.
That was a great sequence there of hard cuts, great movement. Those are the things that if you're a coach for Notre Dame, you want to see a lot of movement without the basketball, not just dribbling the ball, just a great screen, a great cut, and a chance to get to the free throw line.
And Aaliyah Love checks in for Georgia Tech, the freshman from Kansas. Great freshman class for the Yellow Jackets. They were ranked 12th in the country, but that was only good for 5th in the ACC.
Isn't that amazing, Connor, when you're thinking about, I've had an incredible recruiting class. We're building this program. Oh, by the way, everybody else in our league's recruiting really well as well.
And talking to Nell Fortner before this game, that's what she said. Every game in this league is a challenge. They beat Boston College by 18 points, and what Coach said about that game was, well, we were just hitting our shots. Here's Lahtinen looking to hit one, and it's an air ball.
We've seen a switch, though. They hit those shots early, but not as much here in this easy going in the next 3 or 4 minutes. They've not had good looks.
And Westbeld had it blocked away.
She is so talented.
She absolutely is. Maddie Westbeld leading all freshmen in the ACC, averaging 17.5 points a game. That also ranks 8th in the country among freshmen. Gilbert knocks it down.
Great out-of-bounds play, great set, great wrinkle. And again, those are things that you're looking for to get your team going. You know, execute out-of-bounds plays, and that was a perfect example.
Notre Dame within 3. Out of bounds, and we had a disagreement between the officials, but it looks like they made the right call there.
Yeah, I think they got it right. But, you know, if I'm an official, I'm thinking about, boy, Coach, I wish you would have had a mask on when you coached.
Nerea Hermosa scores quickly off the inbounds.
And that's a great example, another great out-of-bounds play, executed well, got a great bucket.
And Gilbert with a great bucket of her own on the other end. Back and forth they go.
Just a really good pace with both teams right now being execute offensively. Here's the overload.
Love whistle.
Wow.
Foul on Notre Dame.
Well, it looked like as she attacked the baseline, she may have got bumped, and that caused the turnover. Again, Notre Dame staying in that 2-3 zone on the out-of-bounds plays.
That foul goes on Sam Brunel. That's her first. Second on Notre Dame as a team. And for Bates, who hit those 2 early threes. Lottinen tried to find Hermosa, nearly lost it. The Yellow Jackets keep it. Bates lines up another one, but it doesn't go.
You know, she has a green light. You can just tell anytime she's got a good feel, she's going to knock it in.
Tipped out of bounds. A back and forth start. Georgia Tech leads it by 3. Welcome back inside Purcell Pavilion. Georgia Tech with a 13-10 lead. And before this game, some members of the Notre Dame team took a knee during the national anthem, and the reason for that was to protest police brutality and systemic racism in the United States. And this is a team and a program that really has never been afraid to speak out, and that was the case under Muffet McGraw, and that continues under Niele Ivey. And you can see there the team's statement regarding the decision to kneel during the anthem today. And the most important thing, Coach, is this team certainly supports each other. You see some members of the team chose to stand, some members chose to kneel, but this team certainly has a lot of unity.
Absolutely. It's a team that's one locker room, opportunities to express themselves. I think that's just part of Coach McGraw's background, where she taught her ladies to speak up for what they believe is right. And you can see that's just an example that's going to continue on with Coach Ivey. Great pass inside there. Great pass inside. And, you know, that's definitely a different looking team for Notre Dame now that she's back.
Yeah, Michaela Vaughn, she's been out the whole season. Niele Ivey said before this game, this week was the first time she had her whole team out there. So it makes a massive difference.
Oh.
And, Coach, they haven't been afraid to go to Vaughn early.
No, you know, again, that's where I really see that's probably been a point of emphasis that Notre Dame has looked on film, so we can get the ball inside. And that just is a breath of fresh air for the Notre Dame program to have her back and playing again.
Here's Lottinen, who had 27 against Boston College, was 5 of 8 from beyond the arc.
You know, one of the things that were mentioned there that all teams are faced with COVID and injury, many teams in America have not had a chance to have everybody at practice. And I think many times as we observe college basketball being played across this country, that is almost the norm, that everybody's out there and you don't have your full team or you're limited in practices. So really hats off to these student athletes to getting out there, doing what they love to do, but also recognizing many times they've had some adversity along the way.
It's certainly the story of the season. These players have to be away from their families, have to isolate with each other as Prohaska's jumper doesn't go. But Coach Fortner was saying for her players, she's got a lot of young players, and this is all they know in college basketball, is having to deal with these protocols and having to isolate socially.
Isn't that amazing what you have to do? There's a great transition situation. You know, if you're looking for Notre Dame, we talked about what Coach Ivey wanted to see, transition and good looks. And that was a great three.
And Notre Dame with their first lead of the day off of the Dara Mabry three. An outstanding outside shooter, following in the tradition of her 2 older sisters, as this pass goes out of bounds and it's back to the Irish.
Just a great trap down the baseline. As you look at Notre Dame, though, they're really going to try to, push the ball up the floor, especially in transition. And great shooters find that three-point line, and there's just a great example right there.
And it's a 6-0 run for Notre Dame.
It's been pretty amazing on the coaching style of seeing both teams almost mirror each other in what they're trying to do. I wonder if that has anything to do with both coaches and coaches played for one another. You see a situation where Coach Ivey played there in Indianapolis, and so they have the same philosophy.
Here's Mabry from the outside. Yes! Another 3 for Dara Mabry.
Well, we know what happens when she fills the comfort zone of getting that release point, knocking in those shots. We've seen her hit them in the past. So
Double
here's the
team
thing.
and a timeout.
Yeah. there's a great example. When somebody feels hot from the three, get them the basketball as quickly as you can. So, again, that was an example what Notre Dame did. You know, they said, wait a minute, we got a three-point shooter. Let's find a basketball for her. Let's get her an opportunity to get it right back to her, out-of-bounds play. We call that America's play, out-of-bounds play. Got her feet set, knocked it in. Really comfortable.
Executed to perfection right there, leading to the open shot for Dara Mabry, who scored 34 points in her Notre Dame debut against Ohio. That was a loss for the Irish in their opener, but for Mabry, that's a program record, the most points in a Notre Dame debut.
That'd be a pretty good start when you come in and you live off the expectation that, hey, I had a few sisters that have been here, but I'm going to show them that I'm going to tread my own path and do my own thing and accomplish great things as well. Notre Dame has trapped the baseline, and that's really forced Georgia Tech to make adjustments.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets have 3 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes, and now an offensive foul will give it back to Notre Dame.
Just a great defensive stand by the Irish, playing physical. Both coaches talked about how important it is for their teams to play with mental toughness. That's a key ingredient for college basketball players. You have to be mentally tough. You have to play physical, and that's what we've seen out of both teams so far.
Prohaska feeds Vaughn.
Great place to go.
Spinning her way, a whistle nearly had the bucket as well, but she'll head to the line for 2.
Really impressed with Notre Dame, understanding that they feel they have a mismatch inside. So they're going to her almost every possession with an opportunity against man or zone. She's getting a touch.
Aisha Wone-Adonas checks back in for Georgia Tech. But, Coach, we were talking before this game. We weren't sure if Michaela Vaughn would suit up. She gets the start, and not only does she get to the start, she's been the focal point of the offense.
Well, she has a lot of experience in that front line, and so why not go to her as much as possible? And that's just going to make everybody else's game so much easier. As they can get the ball inside, then that's going to open up the perimeter and allow the other Notre Dame players to kind of adjust and have good looks.
She got the second free throw to Roland as well, and it looks like the officials want to talk something over here.
Probably something to do with the a time situation, but it looks like they've got it squared away and they're ready to go.
It's probably a little easier to do that without the fans.
Oh, it is. It's a lot easier to do. Believe me, I think there's a lot of things that it's really tough, though, as you watch a game here at Notre Dame and when you know the fan support. Even if you're Georgia Tech, you enjoy coming in and playing in a great crowd atmosphere, and we just don't have that. Turnovers create easy baskets, and so Notre Dame is known for doing a great job defensively, creating baskets off of turnovers.
There's Westbeld, nearly lost it.
Strong,
Prohaska, no good off the glass, and a little bit of a tumble there for Kubai on the rebound, but Georgia Tech will head the other way with it. Notre Dame on a 10-0 run. The Irish have really taken control. What's been the key here?
I think the big thing is getting the ball inside. You can really see the importance of that. Finding the three-point shooter, but also getting the ball inside, establishing the paint right away has really allowed Notre Dame to kind of control things here for the last 2 minutes.
Sarah Bates checking back in for the Yellow Jackets. Destiny Walker back on the floor for Notre Dame.
They have not been able to get the open looks they had early. Let's see if Georgia Tech makes some adjustments.
Baseline jumper doesn't go from Wone-Adonas. And here comes Notre Dame the other way. Long three for Mabry. Doesn't go.
Kind of a heat check there after you've knocked in a couple and you have a good look. Again, shooters find that opportunity, they're going to let it fly.
I would say so. Well beyond NBA range even there.
Yeah, she shot that one from the Michigan State line there, but I think again I really see Notre Dame's matchup zone doing a much better job of picking people up.
Only 4 on the shot clock now for the Yellow Jackets. That short jumper doesn't go from Lahtinen.
Great defense. When you can keep people from scoring, you're going to get runs, and that's exactly the great defense that they've had here in the last 4 minutes has been outstanding.
Yeah, it's nearly a 5-minute scoring drought for Georgia Tech after the Yellow Jackets got off to a hot start, but this one rolls home for Lorella Kubai.
Great quick rotation, got the ball to the top of the key, had a great release before Notre Dame's defense could get set.
Walker on the baseline, a tie-up and a jump ball.
When I see Georgia Tech now, I see them really packing everything inside the paint. So it's going to be very difficult to get the ball inside right now because there are a lot of hands in there trying to strip the ball away from any post player for Notre Dame.
Alasia Hayes checking in. Caitlin Gilbert also back on the floor, and Georgia Tech will have a chance to hold for the last possession of this first quarter. Here's Lottinen driving to the hoop, left it short. Now Notre Dame trying to get a shot off. Gilbert with the runner, and it hits the front of the rim, no good. But Notre Dame with an 18-15 lead after a hot start for Georgia Tech. This should be a fun one here. It's
18-15. As you look at this game so far, you see the great movement by Notre Dame's defense here. Hands high, feet moving, and the key is communicating, not allowing penetration, and that's a really tough shot. So I think one of the keys that Notre Dame has had so far in this segment, especially the last 4 minutes of the first quarter, Connor, was their ability to move defensively.
So what adjustments can Georgia Tech make to that Notre Dame zone?
Well, that's a great question, but I've always believed that ball fakes, anytime you can fake a pass and make a pass, getting the zone to shift and then pass the basketball really creates open lanes for your teammates.
Notre Dame will start with possession in this second quarter. First ACC game of the 2020-21 season for Notre Dame. Georgia Tech at 1-0 in the conference after their win over Boston College on Wednesday.
Both teams very much talking through their zone here. You don't want the ball to stick. The ball has constantly got to be moving.
Gilbert, jumper just short of the free throw line, doesn't fall, tapped out of bounds, and it will stay with Notre Dame.
And again, the rule is with 20 seconds now on the shot clock that people need to be aware of. It goes back to 20 seconds.
That was a change that was made last season. Westfeld in and out on the jumper, and the rebound taken by Kubai. Lorella Kubai, one of the best rebounders in this conference, second in the ACC, averaging over 12 a game.
That's incredible. 12 rebounds a game in the ACC. That just tells you the person's going to those boards every time.
Lottinen's three is long, but there she is.
Yep.
Lorella Kubai, and that was a big concern for Niele Ivey coming into this game.
Yes, because she's going to find a way to get to the boards, and she's done a great job so far in her whole career.
A double team initially forced a turnover, but Destiny Walker was on the sideline out of bounds, so it goes back to Georgia Tech.
Again, those are things early in the season where you get started a little bit too quick, stepped out of bounds. Notre Dame, by trapping the baseline, has really limited the touches inside. It has created opportunities for turnovers. We'll see if they can make an adjustment to this.
They try to get to Kubai, and this time a foul called against Notre Dame. That goes on Maddie Westbeld. That's her first.
Again, it's got to be a great advantage now for Coach Ivey to be able to rotate bigs where it didn't have that luxury the last few games.
As Westbeld heads to the bench and Michaela Vaughn back onto the floor. Under 10 on the shot clock. Love. Mid-range jumper doesn't go. Offensive rebound, Lottinen. And she lost the basketball. Here comes the freshman Alasia Hayes. Hayes all the way to the hoop and gets it to go.
Wow, what a great take. Using her body to protect the basketball putting up soft off the glass after going as hard as she could down the floor. Transition basket for the Irish.
Hayes coming from the state of Tennessee. Not too often you see a highly touted recruit leave that state in women's basketball.
Yes, yeah, exactly. No one usually gets out of there without being a Tennessee foul.
As Bates knocks down the three. So Sarah Bates already with her third three-pointer of the afternoon, and it's a 2-point game.
I'm impressed that she struggled after her first couple makes, but then she went, great shooters keep shooting.
Prohaska outside for Hayes, under 10 on the shot clock for Notre Dame. Now down to 4. Prohaska finds Vaughn. What a feed.
Great pass. Perfect place. You know, for young people, keeping the ball up high is so important for a big, and the ball was placed in a perfect spot. Just catch it and finish. Don't bring the ball down. Keep the ball up high.
Lahtinen hesitated there, was thinking about the three. Instead, it'll be Bates, and she does it again.
Wow. Wow.
4 for 7 from beyond the arc in this first half.
That was another deep three.
Sarah Bates is coming out firing for the Yellow Jackets.
Great find.
Gilbert looking to respond. She does it.
Again, by penetrating and kicking, that's the secret to beat any zone. Getting the ball into the paint either by a dribble or a pass, and then a kick out three on the backside.
Monanas facing a double team. Goes for Aaliyah Love, the freshman, high off the glass, and it doesn't go. The rebound taken by Vaughn, and the Irish look to run. Hayes draws a whistle. She'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Again, as you're looking, defense creates offense, being able to get the ball down the floor and attack. The ball goes inside here, kicks it out to the outside. And again, watch this drive, attack, kick, three. You can't draw it up any better than that as a coach. And then again, we see the same thing. This you don't have to coach very much. Just throw it out to a shooter, let her shoot it from downtown.
Sarah Bates looking very impressive. The freshman, or rather the transfer, she came over from Kansas State. Before that, she was at UC Santa Barbara, so this is her second transfer. It seems like she's finally found the right spot.
And a coach that has been around that knows exactly how to use her talents and skills to get her in a position where she can knock down those shots. She's open again.
Kubai. Jumper doesn't go. Brunel had it stripped away, though, by Aaliyah Love.
Again, bringing the ball down allows little people, little guards to strip it, so you got to keep the ball up high if you're a big.
Lahtinen, can she hit from the outside? Rattles it home.
It's been a clinic on getting the ball inside out. If you're playing against the zone, get the ball in the paint, kick it out. Both teams have taken advantage of that.
Now just a 1-point lead for Notre Dame as the Yellow Jackets are 5 of 10 from beyond the arc. Vaughn finds Brunel. Nice little fake off the glass and in.
That's a great take. And again, catching the basketball, using your body, protecting it, and then knocking in that layup. Both teams are almost playing exactly against each other, doing the same things. You wonder, you practice against the zone a lot, then you end up having a comfort against the zone. And both teams right now have been playing really well against each other.
Monanas to the outside. Bates puts it up. Doesn't go this time. And Love tried to save it, couldn't quite get there, so we'll go back to Notre Dame after this. Both teams getting hot from the outside. The Irish with a 3-point lead. Welcome back inside Purcell Pavilion. Notre Dame with a 3-point lead. Connor Kling and Coach Mike Lightfoot here with you. And Coach, for Georgia Tech, it's been all about the outside shooting led by Sarah Bates.
Absolutely, just great movement. Look at the release point, high arch. Here's a great skip pass, another great release. You know, we find the great shooters find that three-point line, and she's developed that spacing very, very well. Slides to an open spot, knocks in another deep three. Again, great shooters keep shooting, and that's what she's done so far in this first half for Georgia Tech.
And you see the Yellow Jackets averaging 6 made three-pointers per game, already with 5 here in this first half, but coming off a performance where they were shooting the ball very well from the outside against Boston College. So that hot shooting is really carried over. Prohaska.
Great movement.
Around the arc, Brunel knocks down the 3.
Again, I can't emphasize the importance of ball movement against the zone. And there you saw quick cuts, quick passes, open 3, knocking it in. Great basketball.
Lahtinen looking to respond, and she does.
Take that, Notre Dame, she says. Again, it was an inside pass, resulting in an outside kick out, which allowed a great look.
3 after 3 after 3. Mabry trying to get all the way to the hoop. And the rebound taken by the Jackets.
Probably a forced shot, I would say, as a coach right there, where kind of got determined it was going to the rim. Didn't have a good shot.
Nice spin by Won Arenas, but can't score from in close.
Oh, great outlet pass.
Brunel, another top of the key 3, this one short.
Inside, outside.
Now Love drives baseline into some traffic, and here comes Anea Peoples the other way. Mabry pulls up for 3, and it hits!
Oh my. She has a great gift. Many players can catch and shoot, but not everybody can dribble, pull up, and shoot, and she's got that skill set.
And a timeout taken by Nell Fortner, with Notre Dame taking a 6-point lead off of the 3 from Dara Mabry. And that stop and pull up for 3, that's almost NBA skill right there. We heard Niele Ivey talking about she had the chance to coach Ja Morant and was talking about how she wants her team to play free.
Yes.
She wants her team to play with pace and space. And you saw right there, Dara Mabry in transition able to pull up and knock down the 3.
And yeah, just the confidence to just go in there and knock in that shot. You know, I think one of the things is you're looking here, just being able to pull up and have the freedom to take that shot. That gives you a confidence in a player when coach says, you know what, if you have that shot, take that shot. And when players don't have to look over their shoulder thinking, oh, is this a good shot or a bad shot? They just have the freedom to knock it down. You're going to see a lot more shots made. Confidence is everything in a shooter.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago that would have been a bad shot, but now you've got so many players that can make that shot that Niele Ivey happy to have Dara Mabry take that, and she is really so skilled from the outside. And Georgia Tech with plenty of skilled outside shooters of their own. They're 6 of 12 from beyond the arc so far today. This time they'll go inside to Kubai for the easy 2.
What an impressive player she is. She's able to really do a great job of sealing, getting herself in a position to just be able to catch the ball. A lot of times bigs have to need to understand that their scoring happens way before they can catch the ball. Once they catch it, then they can put it up, but they've got to seal the player, they've got to find the open space, and then they can get the bucket.
Under 10 on the shot clock, and an offensive foul. Sam Brunel was trying to get position there, and she's whistled.
Yeah, that was a tough one because she was trying to hold a position. The defensive player was trying to hold their position. Eventually one of them went down, and then both of them went down. And the coach, you know, as a coach, you want your players to play physical. The referee saw that, you know, it was a little bit too physical, and an offensive foul got called.
So Brunel now has 2 fouls in this first half.
Again, that gives another example of how important depth is in the Notre Dame front line. When you lose somebody, you still have more size coming back.
And there Kubai with some beautiful touch.
Yes, outstanding player. You know, we knew going in as we did our homework on her how good she was. She's an outstanding player.
She's got 8 in this first half. Now Westfeld, some more contact, another offensive foul as Aaliyah Love takes the charge.
You know, as a coach, again, you saw that little push off with the left hand on the spin and on the drive. You can just see right there she kind of ran over somebody a little bit. You know, that could have went either way. Georgia Tech got the call.
Now Brunel and Westbeld both with 2 fouls, something to keep an eye on. And Amira Abdur-Rahim comes onto the floor for the first time for Notre Dame. The freshman out of the state of Georgia. Bates lines up a 3. Off back iron. Now Mabry in transition. Tried the little Euro step. Another offensive foul, and this Georgia Tech team continues to take charges. This time it's Sarah Bates getting in position.
Georgia Tech wanted to make sure that their team plays with mental toughness. In order to do that, you have to lay your body on the line. Here's a great example of getting set and then taking the charge and selling it. You know, lots of times it's very important. If a player's going to take a charge, they got to sell the charge to the official.
Oh, Lahtinen, the crossover and the smooth jumper to tie it up.
Great crossover dribble. Fundamentally solid team. Take care of the basketball. Make good decisions with it. They'll give you good shots.
It's a 6-0 run for the Yellow Jackets.
Man-to-man, again, changing up the defenses. Georgia Tech's now been in the man-to-man this possession. Notre Dame has really kind of struggled figuring out what to do.
And Mabry has blocked a shot clock violation, and this Georgia Tech bench, they are fired up.
And you know what happened? It was on the defensive end. Being able to take 3 charges has really got this team going. And many times people think, I've got to hit shots to get things going. But in reality, it's like that. Blocking shots, playing great defense should be a key part of any player. Understanding that if I play great defense, I can contribute. And that's exactly what's happened in the latter part of this quarter.
About a 5-second difference between game and shot clock. Lahtinen tried to get all the way to the hoop off the back iron. And Notre Dame was going to have an opportunity to hold for the last possession, but a turnover in the backcourt.
Yeah, unforced error is something that you don't want as a coach to see. It'll be interesting now to see how Georgia Tech responds here in the last 14 seconds to get a great look against Notre Dame's zone.
Yellow Jackets can hold for the last shot of this first half.
It looks like Notre Dame is going to go man-to-man here.
Lahtinen steps back and hits the jumper. What an end to this first half for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. They end it on an 8-0 run. Georgia Tech leads it 35.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the ACCN studios. That's Jordan Cornette. I'm Dallin Cuff. JC, ACC women's hoops always so high level this year. No different.
Some big wins already.
Huge wins.
Talk to me about them, my friend.
I think NC State had the win of the year, without a doubt. You go into South Carolina, who's number 1 at the time. It wasn't pretty, but guess what? It does not matter. They win 54-46. That moved their ranking up to number 4 in the nation, their highest ever. Shocking a lot of folks that tuned in to see that game. Big time stage there on ESPN.
How about a blowout?
You got one coming your way. Louisville, statement. Just drubbed Paul. 116-75. Haley Van Lith was outstanding. He scored 21 in the Jimmy V Classic game. So number 2 and number 4, that's what these teams are right now. Let me take a little tail of the tape. They'll play on January 17th, but right now both 5-0, both averaging high 80s, holding their opponents 60 and below. Three-pointers, shooting it quite well. Let's talk about what it's like to deal with some high-level teams early in the season.
Who would know about that? Not I.
Definitely not I. The Hall of Famer Muffin McGraw knows quite a bit about handling high-level teams, especially early in the season. So, Coach, let's go right into that. You've had so many high-level groups, especially when they start strong. What's the key to maintaining that momentum?
Well, you know, there's pressure in every single game, and what I like to do is play really good teams early in the season, and you don't really mind losing. I would always tell my team, the beginning of the season, preseason, it's not about winning and losing, it's about getting better. It's preparing you for the ACC. The ACC then prepares you for the NCAA tournament. So you want to challenge yourself because you don't learn anything when you beat a team by 30. You only learn when you play really good teams to see how are they going to guard us? How are people going to defend us? What kind of things are they going to try to do to stop us? Because you want to know that early so you can practice on it before you get to the ACC.
Coach, when you've won as many games as you have, you've been in this position a lot of times during your coaching career where your team does get that big win so early on. And the young women on your team do feel like This is all it takes? I mean, we're destined for a national championship this year. When they have that confidence that early, how do you kind of push back on that, keep them grounded and keep them focused?
Jordan, you hit it on the head, though. It does build their confidence, and that is so important. And I think we talked last week. I loved it when we would win and yet didn't play well, so I could get after them on the film because they could really take it. I think it's important about your culture. You know, you have that championship culture. You know what you want to do. You have things that you are accountable for. You have things that you have to do at practice every single day in order to reach your goals at the end. So my thought was always, I don't care about the preseason poll. I don't care about the poll in December. It's a win in December. That's all it is. It doesn't mean we're punching our ticket for the Final Four. We still have a lot of work to do. Now, Coach, you said you don't care about the win in December, but sometimes the players will. So how do you massage that? How do you manage that? Or let me ask the other way. How do you manage the loss? Because sometimes the loss can get taken too hard, and maybe we're not capable of winning a championship. How do you handle that? Well, every one of my players that's watching this is saying that was a complete lie. You know she hates to lose. I think that's so true. But, you know, when you lose, you learn so much. You learn so much more when you lose, especially when you know you have a team that's really good. So I think that it makes you refocus. It makes you look again at practice and say, maybe we're not working hard enough. Maybe we're not doing the things we need to do. Sometimes a loss early is way better. I mean, I would much rather lose in December than in March. Coach, these two teams match up at NC State. The Travel's down and plays Louisville January 17th. Quickly, what's the biggest key in that matchup, which is going to have all eyes on it inevitably? You know, two different styles. I see Louisville as a pressure defense, and that is the key to their team. They're going to make you uncomfortable on offense. They are not going to let you come down and get your first option. You better have a backup plan for option number 2 and 3 because they are going to be on pressure for 40 minutes, and they are going to be diving for loose balls and really making you work. They do have a 4-guard lineup, which I think is very difficult to guard. I think they're fast. They can shoot the ball and they can explode to the rim. And Cochran inside, she is really playing well. So that'll be a great matchup for Cunane, who finally had the dominant game. She had the big double-double yesterday with 23 and 11. She is somebody that's going to be a big key in those games because not a lot of size for Louisville. They don't have a lot off the bench. They have a deep team, but their bench not really performing as well as I would like. Coach, quickly, with this season, where there are no scrimmages, no exhibitions before the year, do you expect teams to really make a big jump as we go from December to January, assuming they can continue to play and don't have to pause activities? Yeah, I think they're going to have to. You know, the thing about the early season scrimmages and the exhibition games, it gave the freshmen a chance to kind of get used to being in the uniform and being in a real game. And we are not having that right now. We're out there and it counts. Everything matters. And so there's a little more pressure on them. They can't make as many mistakes. It's hard to realize your role. I have to get used to coming off the bench after starting in high school and never sitting. And everybody's in a different role. You know, you're trying to figure out what your team is, what your chemistry is, who's the leader on the floor, what are you going to run when the shot clock runs down, who's going to be the go-to player. There's so many questions that generally you have a pretty good answer by now because you've played maybe 10 games. But for this, we're going to be in February, I think, and we're still going to be looking around going, who's the key to this team? For Dalek Cuff, I'm Jordan Cornette. That's a Naismith Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Muffin McGraw. Nobody knows about managing a team.
Just a couple of minutes away from the second half, Georgia Tech with a 35-33 lead over Notre Dame after they closed out the first half on an 8-0 run. Not many fans here in the stands today at Purcell Pavilion, but a very special tribute to Kevin Morrison, who anyone who's followed Notre Dame women's basketball, you knew him maybe as the Green Man.
Yes.
He went to just about every game possible, and sadly Kevin passed away in the month of October, but you see there his wife Lisa and also his grandson Josiah in attendance today.
Yeah, you know, the whole culture of Notre Dame women's basketball is the community. So many people in the community come out and support these ladies, and Kevin was the #1 fan. You know, he traveled with them. He just look at the outfit and painting his face, and the players and the coaches really appreciated him so much. It's amazing.
And there's a really dedicated fan base for Notre Dame, and unfortunately most of them unable to be in the stands this year. But, Coach, a great first half between Georgia Tech and Notre Dame, and both teams really shooting the ball well from the outside.
You know, against the zone, you've got to be able to make decisions quickly at being able to attack the basket, being able to kick the basketball out. And as the game flowed, you could see both teams feeling very comfortable finding the three-point shooters and then knocking down those shots.
Yeah, Georgia Tech 6 of 13 from beyond the arc. Notre Dame at 5 of 7. Well, we don't have many fans today, as you can also see some of the teddy bears in the crowd.
And you know, they're not socially distancing. The teddy bears have stayed together in packs, but that's a great tradition that Notre Dame has started and continuing even with the COVID.
Well, I think Dr. Fauci said a couple of weeks ago that Santa Claus was immune from the coronavirus. Yes. I think the teddy bears also
all of our bears,
in the same way.
All of our bears have been able to do that. That's pretty special to see that the bears have done well. At least these bears, not the Chicago ones.
And those will be donated to the St. Joseph Health System. And you see some football players in attendance. They've got a pretty big game next Saturday.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard about that.
I've heard that they have a big game coming up. You know, I think that that's a special part of the ACC. You're looking at the ACC champions, you know, and you're not going to be able to say that ever before in the history of Notre Dame football. So we've got – I just love this about college athletics, where college athletes support other athletes. There are Notre Dame basketball players here. There are Notre Dame football players here. But that happens across the country, throughout the nation, where you have athletes supporting athletes.
No doubt about that. And a lot of schools had finals early due to some of the coronavirus restrictions and trying to adjust the schedule. So at a lot of campuses around the country, the only people on campus are athletes, support staff, coaches. And Nell Fortner was talking about this is Georgia Tech's first road game.
Yes,
so she actually spoke with the strength coach of the men's team, was saying, what's it like going on the road?
Yes, and what's the protocol? What things would we expect? Coaches love to be in control. And as we were talking to both coaches before, they don't have control. They've just got to roll with the issues and the protocol and understanding every day is going to be a different experience.
Georgia Tech starting with possession in this second half. As I mentioned, they closed out the first half on an 8-0 run. Here's Love, free throw line jumper, nothing but net.
Really a great decision there of making Notre Dame pay for trapping the baseline. Throwing out of the trap, finding the open person, attacking the lane, and getting a great shot.
Peoples going all the way to the hoop. It rolls off front iron. Here come the Yellow Jackets. Lahtinen with a nice cut. The high runner goes.
Off of Notre Dame defense, they went man-to-man that possession. And again, great execution by Georgia Tech, and they've played very well here at the beginning of the second half, carrying on from what they did at the end of the first half.
So make it a 12-0 run extended over from the first half for Georgia Tech. Corner three on the way from Peoples is off the mark. Top of the key three, and Lahtinen hits it.
Wow, wow, wow. Again, great decision by Georgia Tech. They're feeling it right now. There's no question about that.
A quick timeout from head coach Neil Ivey as Georgia Tech is out to a 9-point lead. Georgia Tech with a 9-point lead, and Lotamai Lahtinen has been a huge part of it.
Great backdoor cut, you know, just reading the defense, then being able to pull up and knock in that three. They have really focused on the three-point shot in this game, and it's been a success because they're not known as a great three-point shooter. They've already hit more threes already than they did in the last games and what they're averaging.
Yeah, they're averaging 6 3-pointers per game. They've already made 7 today. That includes 3 from Lahtinen. Notre Dame looking to respond with Westbeld, and she knocks it down.
Wow, you know, a lot of confidence there as a freshman to come in out of a timeout, set play, give her a great look, and then she really knocked in a tough shot.
Here's Kubai. Too hard off the glass. Gilbert. A little bit of contact there. They let them continue to play, but this goes out of bounds back to Georgia Tech.
There's been a lot of contact in this game, but you know, as you're looking for movement coming out of the set, there's just a great look, catch, read, knock it in the shot. Again, when you're going to a freshman after a timeout, that says a lot about the talent of that freshman.
first points of the day for Maddie Westbell. She came in averaging over 17 a game. Long two from Kubai, and she nails it.
Freshmen are going to have those games on both sides where, they didn't have the luxury of all the exhibition games and the games where freshmen play a lot. So they're thrown in the fire right away.
Here's Westbell, reverse lay-in. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Mickey Vaughn tried to put it back up, had it blocked away. And nice save on the sideline by Aaliyah Love going into the Notre Dame bench.
Georgia Tech is just playing harder right now. They're just playing so hard at both ends of the floor.
Kubai tried the hook shot. Brunel comes down with the rebound. Up ahead, Peoples. A collision with Sarah Bates and a foul.
Notre Dame has to continue to stay with their thought process of transition, taking care of the basketball, still getting good looks, and not rushing shots. When you get down by 8, there is a tendency to think you have to get a 5-point play. They just need to chip away one possession at a time. They're fine. Both teams have done a really good job defensively at the beginning of this second half.
Shot clock under 10. Gilbert tried to find Vaughn, but it's taken away.
Yes, nothing there. Situation where you got to kick the ball out and wait for another set.
Lottinen driving the lane. Whistle and a foul. She'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Just aggressive offense by Georgia Tech. They've just been, setting great screens, rolling off the screens, attacking the basket on the dribble, and because of that, they've been able to get to, great looks.
Abby Prohaska checking back in. Caitlin Gilbert heading to the bench. But, Coach, you have to be impressed with Lottinen, the junior. She already has 15 today.
Yeah, I've just been really impressed with the things that she can do. She does a great job of moving without the ball. And for young people out there watching, how well you move without the ball will determine the success you'll have as a player. And she sets herself up way before she even catches the ball to get a position where she can score.
She's coming off that career-high 27, kept it rolling today. Now Brunel off the window and in.
And again, Notre Dame came right back with a great touch. High-low look, which Notre Dame is well known for. They just did a great job of having great bigs that can pass the ball.
Kubai with her back to the basket, working against Vaughn. Had it partially blocked. Another attempt and a foul.
That second time there where she took the ball straight back at Vaughn is the difference between a freshman and an upperclassman, where she knew that she had her offensive rebound and she was going to take it right through Vaughn. And again, Vaughn's hands are there, foul's called, it's going to force her to set.
So Kubai heads to the free throw line. She has 10 points today.
Yeah, she's really good.
Came into this game 11 for 16 at the charity stripe on the season.
That's a great reminder for all bigs. You're going to have to shoot free throws well because you're going to get to the free throw line a lot. And so if you're inside, you've got to be a great free throw shooter.
Here's Prohaska. Foul called off the ball.
Yep, got a little physical there, trying to grab a cutter, and you'll have that from time to time. The officials saw it. Good call. Out of bounds, Irish.
In for Westbell, pulls up for the jumper, left it short, and Georgia Tech did get a hand on that, so it will stay with Notre Dame.
16 on the shot clock. It's very important if you're a player on the floor, you remind your teammates where you are there.
Shot clock now under 10 for Gilbert.
Great catch.
Feed down for Westbell, and Prohaska is there underneath the basket.
Oh my, what a great hands to be able to catch the ball and then pass that ball across the lane in traffic. wow, that was amazing play by the Irish freshman.
And it's been great to see Prohaska back out on the floor after she missed last season. Lahtinen, another three. Low-to-my Lahtinen with 19.
And they continue to look for open shots, and they have confidence now to knock them in. And, you know, that becomes contagious. Shooting is contagious. Once one teammate starts hitting them, then everybody starts hitting them. But if somebody starts missing them, you've seen that with teams on the free throw line, the three-point line. They just get in a field they can't make anything.
Here's Mabry, nice laying off the glass.
It's a great mix when you're a great shooter that can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, and that's a great example right there.
So back to a 6-point game. Tapped out of bounds. It will stay with Georgia Tech after this. The Yellow Jackets with a 6-point lead here in the third. Welcome back inside Purcell Pavilion. Georgia Tech with a 6-point lead. A major reason why, the 3-point shooting.
Yeah, catching and shooting the basketball, getting your feet set, getting ready to catch the ball, and then shoot is so important as a 3-point shooter. A lot of times people wait, they'll catch it, then they'll try to set their feet. But great shooters are set, so as soon as they catch it, they know they got a feel, they've seen the rim, and they knock it in.
And it's been all Sarah Bates and Low-to-my Lahtinen, both of them with 4 3-pointers on the day. Lahtinen is 4 for 6 from beyond the arc after she was 5 of 8 against Boston College on Wednesday. Outside for Love. Her 3 is also good.
It's contagious. It is so contagious. When one person starts knocking them down, then you just see the confidence level of your teammates.
Freshman Love now has 5 on the day.
You know, I think the presence of Notre Dame being able to go back inside is going to be very important here. They started the game off going inside. Will the Irish decide to go back in the paint and see if they can create some easy opportunities like right there?
They went for Michaela Vaughn, and she was unable to score from in close. Went down to the floor there, but she's back up running to the other end, and certainly want to be careful with Michaela Vaughn just coming back. First game of the season here in 2020.
Yeah, you know, those things, this is their first game back. I'm sure that they've looked at that. They felt she was confident to get out there and play. And, boy, the relentless offensive rebound, the relentless play, you could just see the emotional swing right now where Georgia Tech is just playing with so much more fire and passion.
And a foul, blocking foul on the floor. That was Nerea Hermosa who had the bucket for Georgia Tech on that offensive rebound.
Yeah, I thought that it could have been called a foul and a bucket, but the referee has said no, it was on the floor, so that Notre Dame's going to have to execute out of bounds play.
Here's Westbeld. And we see another whistle and a foul. This time, Westbeld will get an opportunity at the free throw line.
Again, this is not a critical point. There's plenty of time in this ball game, but as you're looking at the Notre Dame bench, this is the difference between the two. I see a lot of enthusiasm on that Georgia Tech. It's very important that the bench to the floor continues to have passion and feed off. You can't feed off the bench. I'm sorry, you can't feed off the crowd like you normally. You have to feed off each other. That bench is going to be so important now for Notre Dame.
Well, especially with no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Notre Dame doesn't have that home crowd that can rally them to defensive stops. It all has to be from the bench.
And those Bears over there have not said very much. So you've got to rely on each other.
Not yet, at least.
No, look at it.
I'd be a little bit scared if they did.
Yes. But, you know, if they could pick up their emotion, too, I'm sure that will help.
And Vaughn whistled for the travel. It will go back to Georgia Tech.
Well, we talked to the coach, yesterday about making sure that getting her team back on the floor and practicing. I think you're going to see forced turnovers just because of lack of practice time.
For Notre Dame, they have 11 turnovers today, just 7 for Georgia Tech. As McQueen went outside there for Bates.
Notre Dame staying in a man-to-man here.
Here's Hermosa outside. Bates 3. Doesn't go this time.
Very unselfish play by Georgia Tech.
Peoples a little out of control there, and it's tipped out of bounds, but it will stay with Notre Dame as Abby Prohaska comes back in. Michaela Vaughn heading to the bench.
Notre Dame's going to look for a little bit more guard play here. See if they can create some more offense here by ball movement, having more ball handlers on the court at one time.
Prohaska, long 2, in and out, and there was another whistle.
Just a great lesson for young ladies or basketball players, recognizing when a shot goes, if you can get inside position, you have a great opportunity to score. Offensive rebounding is really the easiest way to score in a game of basketball. A lot of people don't realize it. If you shoot and follow your shot, if you try to spin and seal, the person is guarding you, get inside position, it's going to allow you to get to the free throw line or get easy baskets, and that's a great example in that possession for Notre Dame.
And that foul was on Hermosa, her 3rd, 6th on Georgia Tech as a team. Westbeld sinks both free throws. So back to a 7-point game as the freshman Loyal McQueen brings it up the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Very talented player out of the state of South Carolina. They go once again for Hermosa, and Brunel went down, leading to an easy 2.
I've said it before, but getting position before you catch the ball. She got it in deep, got the ball, then just had to make a simple move and had a great look. Doing your work before you get the ball is so important for a big person.
Brunel, fall-away jumper, in and out. And Love claims the rebound for Georgia Tech.
Notre Dame has turned cold here in the last few possessions. They've had good looks, but they've just not been able to connect.
Yeah, Notre Dame has not made a field goal in over 3 minutes now. Georgia Tech looking to extend the lead, and Love draws a foul.
Good things happen when you attack the basket under control. And when you attack the basket, it allows you to, 1, get to the free throw line, 2, get your opponents in foul trouble. And you can see the fouls are starting to add up a little bit.
Yep, coming back in. That's a 3rd foul on Brunel.
Yeah, there's a great work. How, again, just getting position, making a quick move, doing all the work before she caught the ball.
As Love makes the first free throw, the freshman. She was first team All-State in the state of Kansas from the Kansas City area. One of 4 top 100 recruits for Nell Fortner in her first full recruiting class at Georgia Tech, and I think that'll only get better as the years go on for Coach Fortner.
Just look at Coach Fortner's resume. You know, gold medal, Olympic gold medal. That's amazing as a coach. Being able to do the things that, she is going to recruit well. She's well known. She's well respected. She's one of the best coaches in the country.
Her team forces another turnover. Here's McQueen. Bates, 3 on the way. Off the heel, and the rebound taken by Westbeld.
Georgia Tech's really talking to their players about getting back in transition.
And Notre Dame finally makes their first field goal in just about 4 minutes. A desperately needed bucket by Maddie Westbeld.
And, you know, the freshman has responded. I think she has played a lot more confident here in the second half. Going with her left hand is a tough shot. This last few possessions here right before half are going to be very important before the end of the quarter here.
Gilbert called for the foul. That's her second as we take another look at this bucket from Westbeld.
She's so talented. She can go left, right. Here she goes left, creates contact, puts the ball high off that glass. That's tougher than what it looks, to be able to go left and put that ball up high on the glass and drop it softly into the net.
And after a quiet first half, Maddie Westbeld now with 9. Notre Dame will need her to continue to play well if they want to come back in this fourth quarter. But what a feed right there for Aviance Carter. And Georgia Tech extends the lead to 11.
They've just been clicking on all cylinders. And again, they're just great drive, great pass, great finish. Just solid offensive basketball by Georgia Tech.
Prohaska feeds Vaughn underneath the hoop, and she is fouled as she went up.
Again, those are great feeds, great catches, but as a big, you've got to try to finish those as much as possible. I still think just the layoff for her, the reps will come around and she'll get back into playing shape and be more comfortable. But there is a lot of great passing going on, the high-low action of Notre Dame here.
And that's the 4th foul on Hermosa.
That's huge.
So she will be on the bench. We've seen her use her size inside, so definitely a loss for Georgia Tech there, at least for some time, until Coach Fortner will feel comfortable playing her with those 4 fouls. Offensive rebound off the missed free throw, and Anea Peoples puts it up and in.
Huge offensive rebound for Notre Dame. Absolutely huge offensive putback.
And it's an 8-point game, but a reach-in foul.
Yeah, one of those again. As a coach, you really respect Peoples getting after it, playing with fire and emotion. But you don't want to see a foul, 45 feet away from the basket with under 5 seconds.
And especially being the 5th foul, sending Georgia Tech to the free throw line with Loyal McQueen. That's the 2nd on Peoples.
Those are tough ones as a coach. You want your players to play hard, play smart. You don't want to create a foul situation that gives your opponents an easy one.
Here's Peoples, bring it over half court. The runner at the buzzer just rolls out. Georgia Tech with a 10-point lead as we head to the 4th quarter. Welcome back inside Purcell Pavilion. Georgia Tech with a 10-point lead over Notre Dame. Connor Kling, Coach Mike Lightfoot here with you. And Coach, the Yellow Jackets playing really disciplined basketball, only 7 turnovers, and they've been very efficient offensively.
Well, coach team, they're just, there's no question that they're playing very efficient on the offensive end, not turning the basketball, playing very, very physical. Because you don't turn the ball over against the Irish, you eliminate that transition game that is very, very important for Notre Dame. So the key of the game so far has been able to take care of the basketball and eliminate easy baskets by Notre Dame in transition.
Notre Dame starts with possession in this 4th quarter, the first ACC game for the Irish. Georgia Tech at 1-0 in the conference. Here's Hayes on the outside as the shot clock's under 10.
Great defense by Georgia Tech.
Now down to 5. Peoples has to put one up and sinks it.
Money shot right there. We might circle that possession because Notre Dame's shot clock was going down, and they needed a bucket there in that possession.
McQueen looking for 3 and knocks it down.
Well, we've heard a lot of great things about her, and now she joins the three-point club.
And that's her first 3 of the day.
Isn't it amazing when people start knocking down threes, how everybody else gets into the act? And as a coach, you're looking and say, wait a minute, that's not part of her game. And all of a sudden, they're knocking down threes. Drives coaches nuts when other people step up and hit other shots.
Here's Westbelt leaning her way and rattles it home.
And we talked during the break how important for her to get really started here and continue on building on her 3rd quarter and having a great 4th quarter for the Irish.
She's now in double figures with 11. Watsonen for Kubai. Backing her way against Vaughn.
Duck under move. There is a classic duck under move. It just doesn't seem like Georgia Tech offensively feels sped up at all. They feel very, very comfortable running their offense, and their players seem to be very comfortable of knowing what they're going to do once they get the basketball.
Here's Peoples, lines up a 3, hits the side of the rim, back to Georgia Tech, and a foul This one going on Michaela Vaughn. So, Coach, you said Georgia Tech looking comfortable, very much in the flow of their offense. If you're Notre Dame and E.L. Ivy, how do you disrupt that?
You know, one of the things you've got to be able to do, there's a great duck under move right there. That's a classic. When people are saying, use a duck under move, that's a perfect thing. Notre Dame's just got to find their way here and not think that they're going to get all of their points back here in one possession. They're just going to have to be solid on the defensive end here. Stop the possessions and then slowly just chip away one possession at a time.
Kubai against Brunel. Goes for Love on the baseline. Floater doesn't go.
And that's a great defensive possession there. And that's, again, the things that get you back into games. You've just got to play one possession at a time, get stops, and then look to execute on the offensive end.
Dara Mabry with 11 today for Westbeld. Her three is good.
Boy, she comes off of that curl cut. Very, very confident. Gets her feet set and knocked in a big shot there.
14 for Maddie Westbeld, and it's an 8-point game.
Can Notre Dame create some defensive pressure that takes Georgia Tech out of their offensive flow? That is the question we're going to see in the last 7 minutes.
Kubai doesn't get the roll there. The rebound taken by Mabry. Notre Dame may have some numbers here. Off the hands of Westbeld and taken away by Lahtinen. Pace starting to pick up here in this fourth quarter, and now Georgia Tech will settle things down.
Thought Notre Dame was a little bit too much of a hurry there in their transition and turned the ball back over.
Kubai, the hook shot, and a beauty.
Wow. Just love how she's able to get possession of the basketball where she wants it, and then she just simply had to go just over the left shoulder, jump shot, jump hook, and knocked it down.
So Kubai has 16 and 11, or check that, 14 and 11 on the day. Third double-double of the season. Here's Westbeld, and a whistle and a foul.
You sense that the freshman really feels that she's got to step up here. There's a need for her to knock down shots. And again, there's just a great step back three coming out of a situation where you're doing a tight curl. Those are key shots here. Now possessions become more and more important with 6 minutes to go.
And you want to talk about important. Lorella Kubai heading to the bench, picked up her fourth foul there, sending Westbeld to the free throw line.
See if Notre Dame can really take advantage of the size inside. We saw this when Notre Dame's men played Ohio State when their bigs got in foul trouble. Ohio State really took advantage of that. We'll see if Notre Dame does the same thing here, getting the ball inside here where they're going to be able to use their size advantage.
Yeah, much smaller lineup for Georgia Tech. Hermosa and Kubai both with 4 fouls, so it'll be interesting to see when Nell Fortner will feel comfortable putting one or both of them back out on the floor.
A lot depends on this spacing here of if it's an 8-point game, a 6-point game. Very important possession here for Georgia Tech.
And Won Adonas with a nice move and gets it off the glass and in.
Wow, again, just following the same script of her teammates, getting great position, knocking in the shots.
And now it's taken away by Lahtinen. Up ahead for Aaliyah Love, off the window, and it rolls in.
Wow, people coming in and contributing off the bench, and there's a great transition basket by Georgia Tech. They are playing very focused with a lot of intensity at both ends of the floor.
A lead up to 12 for the Yellow Jackets with just over 5 minutes to play.
Looks very difficult right now for Notre Dame to get into a flow offensively. A lot of things being taken away by the Georgia Tech defense.
Brunel trying to find a shot, doesn't go at the shot clock buzzer. And now the Yellow Jackets content to slow things down, a 12-point lead. And they've held Notre Dame without a field goal for over 2.5 minutes now.
Yeah, if you're Georgia Tech staff, you got to be so proud of your ladies because they are following the game plan to a T.
Lahtinen and Won Adonas is called for the travel. Just over 4.5 minutes to play. Georgia Tech looking to hold on for a road. Georgia Tech with a 12-point lead, and coach, the last defensive possession, a thing of beauty for the Yellow Jackets.
just see no openings. It really forces Notre Dame to take a tough shot, and that's what's really been happening. If you want to be successful in the ACC, you better travel well to defense. And the defensive effort that Georgia Tech has played here, especially in the second half, is something that's traveled well. And if you want to get still games on the road, you're going to have to be a great defensive team. And Georgia Tech has been exactly that coming up here to the last 4 minutes.
They have played great defense all season, holding their opponents to just 58 points per game. Now, Notre Dame has eclipsed that, but in the second half, the Yellow Jackets have been outstanding, and they force another turnover there.
Yeah, another tough force position by Notre Dame, where they just kind of show they're just not really confident what they're trying to run offensively.
And the Irish get a turnover the other way, and Aaliyah Love called for a foul there.
Hats off to also the bench. Georgia Tech has really had great moments from the bench, and it doesn't mean that they have to score a lot or do those type of things. Just being able to be in the right position, come in and give quality minutes, that's a key. And we see now that Georgia Tech's going to allow some of their bigs back in the game.
Here's Westbeld off the glass and doesn't go.
Doesn't it feel that Notre Dame's forcing things? It just feels like every shot is almost forced, and you have to attribute a lot to Georgia Tech.
And the Yellow Jackets have really made things difficult, as now Love is whistled for the travel.
Well, the answer was, how long do you wait till you put your bigs back in? And that has just been answered on both sides right now.
As Lorella Kubai checks back in, she has those 4 fouls. And Michaela Vaughn back in for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's got to get something going here offensively in this possession.
Westbeld looking for a pass, finds Gilbert all the way to the hoop. May have been partially blocked. 10 on the shot clock for Peoples, who rolls it home.
Just a great take, a must bucket there in my opinion, being able to spin back and use her left hand. Look for Tech. Yeah, look for Tech to be very patient here, running some time off the clock. As I said that, it didn't happen, but offensive rebounds.
That was a quick jumper from McQueen, but a key offensive rebound, and that's why you have Kubai on the floor.
Yes.
She has 12 rebounds on the afternoon. Now McQueen using her speed off the window and in.
Wow, the freshman steps up here. Wow. Just has another gear. You know, if you're a basketball player that is a guard, you've got to have another gear, and that's exactly what she's shown there as she took the ball strong to the basket.
Here's Vaughn. Doesn't go, and Love pulls down the rebound. And we've seen Georgia Tech with some offensive rebounds, Coach, but for Notre Dame, there's no second opportunities. The Yellow Jackets doing everything on the defensive glass.
Notre Dame needs to extend their defense here and start putting more pressure on the ball here, trying to create quick shots.
Here's McQueen once again, plus the foul.
Well, she's figured out that this is her time as the defense kind of extended. Now she can get to the rack, and she's done that her last 2 possessions.
And Loyal McQueen has 9. The freshman out of the state of South Carolina was the Gatorade Player of the Year in that state, and she's showing it today.
How did she get out of that state?
Well, it's tough with Dawn Staley there at South Carolina. That's a great program, so give a lot of credit to Coach Fortner.
Wow, we talked about her recruiting class. Wow, you can just see all the pieces have come together.
This is the and one, but just over 2 minutes to play, and Notre Dame trailing by 14 have to have a sense of urgency on the offensive end.
Great defense again by Tech.
Here's Westbeld off the glass and in. Desperately needed basket for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's got to pick up the defensive pressure here. Look for maybe opportunities to trap. Try to get a quick steal. They're down, you know, being down 12 here, they've got to create some defensive stops.
Shot clock down under 10 for Lahtinen. Watson nearly lost it. Put up a jumper. Offensive rebound is there from Lorella Kubai.
Wow, another offensive putback. Those are things you just can't allow when you're down.
And now a turnover. The outlet ahead to Love for the easy two, and that just about does it for this one.
Georgia Tech has come in here with a lot of great confidence, and they've taken it to the Irish on their home floor today. It's going to be a teachable moment for Notre Dame. You know they're going to respond and come back, but they've dug themselves a big hole here with 49 seconds left.
As Westbeld makes the three, still a 13-point lead for Georgia Tech, and McQueen coast to coast and draws a foul.
She has one gear. You know, she sees the orange of that rim, and she's going right to the rim where right now you'd say as a coach, pull back, pull back, pull back. Let's run some time off. No. She says, let me loose, coach. I'm going to go to that rim.
Just one gear, go. And I was about to look at the clock and say, are we sure it's the last minute of the game? How does she have that much energy right now?
Isn't it amazing? Just absolutely amazing. But you can just see the culture of Georgia Tech that coaches brought to this program, and it's going to be a great year for them.
I think this is a score that's going to flash around the ACC, and the other teams of the conference say, hey, Georgia Tech, they were pretty good last year. Well, it looks like they may be even better this season.
And the ACC is so strong that, you know, it's just going to be every night out you're going to have to play at a high level, and that's exactly the message that has been sent by Georgia Tech opponents for the future.
Westbeld's three off the mark, and the rebound taken by McQueen. And Georgia Tech will have the opportunity to dribble out the final seconds of a road victory.
Yes, it's just been a great win for Georgia Tech and their program to come in here to Notre Dame. Even though without the great crowd support that Notre Dame had, you know, they came in here and really dictated this game the second half.
And McQueen will dribble out the last seconds. The first win over Notre Dame in program history for Georgia Tech. And the Yellow Jackets improve to 2-0 in the ACC, 4-1 overall. Notre Dame falls to 0-1 in the conference and 2-3 overall. Coach, your final thoughts on a great victory for the Yellow Jackets.
Just so impressed with Georgia Tech and how they had confidence in everything they're doing out there.
And they certainly closed it out well. So for Coach Mike Lightfoot and our entire crew, I'm Connor Klingen saying so long from Purcell Pavilion, where the final scores, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 82 and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 67. This has been a presentation of the ACC Network Extra.